The First Sliver versus Silvos Rogue Elemental. No lands there, so have to throw it away and hope for some more. Well, plenty of lands there, so we will keep that one. We're on the draw, luckily, so hopefully we can get into something else. I'm going to ditch the Gaia's Cradle here because I'm not confident that we're going to get into lots of creatures. The First Sliver is 5 colours, 5 mana for a 7/7. It has Cascade and it gives our Sliver spells Cascade. We might as well just get down a tap land in the breeding pool. We might go for Predatory Sliver next turn, I'm not sure yet. Silvos Rogue Elemental is a 6 mana 8/5 elemental with trample. You can regenerate it for a single green. And they've gotten down a Crucible of Worlds, but no fetches for them yet, so not too sure if they're going to make use of those or not. Let's just go for Unclaimed Territory and name Slivers. And then we can go white and get down our first Lord of the game in the Sinew Sliver. Just getting down a land and passing straight over, so we don't have anything from them yet. They might be holding up some instant speed removal or something of that ilk, maybe even a Harrow. Let's just get down another Lord here and we'll swing in for 3. Usually I want to save the Slivers for after our commander comes down, but we're not really getting into a whole heap of anything here. A couple of turns we'll be able to cast our commander at least. Or next turn with the Nature's Law. So let's go for Nature's Law. We need red and white. So we can... Well, we've got a Path to Exile in hand, so we'll go for the Savannah. We will play Cavern of Souls, naming Slivers. Just saving the Verdant Catacombs for last, because not too sure what lands we're going to draw into, and therefore which colours we're going to need from the fetch. And we're still not seeing anything from our opponent, that's surprising. They could have gotten down their commander there, but it might be that they want to hold up regeneration. Now then, do we want to go for First Sliver? Or do we want to get down the Blur Sliver first? I think I'd rather get down the Haste Enabler. And that way it forces our opponent to have instant speed removal. Otherwise they're going to have the First Sliver swinging in at them next turn. Might even go for Sliver Legion. We may be able to get a win off with the Sliver Legion next turn. Yeah, our opponent hasn't really done anything. A Verdant Sun's Avatar, that should gain some life. Whenever it or another creature enters under your control, you gain life equal to its toughness. Now luckily we can remove this thing and get it out of our way, because I think we might go for a Sliver Legion next turn and hit our opponent for lethal. Haven't actually worked out if that would be lethal or not yet. Okay. Playing against the same opponent again, and hopefully they have better luck this time. We are going to keep this hand. Let's start things off with the Tropical Island and pass the turn. Gonna go for the Sentinel Sliver next turn, I think. That will give our Slivers Vigilance. Alright, getting into fast mana this time at least. And a Nature's Law gets them out another land. See if they've got 2 mana. Yeah, we just stick with the plan of the Sentinel Sliver. And I think we will go for the Blur Sliver next turn. And down sneaks a Garruk Wildspeaker, and that throws out a 3/3 Beast token. I think we are still sticking with the Blur Sliver plan. We've got double green available to us with the Exotic Orchard. We definitely want a red source. We've got black there. We've got a few double black and a few double blue, so let's just go for blue and red. Playing out the Blur Sliver so that we can get haste onto our commander when that eventually comes out in a couple of turns. Having a much better time of it this time. Garruk was just used to untap a couple of lands to get our opponent up to 6, and then they could go for Woodland Bellower. Be intrigued to see what they're going for with the Woodland Bellower. They can grab a green non-legendary creature with CMC 3 or less, put it straight into play, They just go for more ramp in Sakura Tribe Elder. Deciding not to swing in with the beast because they're scared that we're going to double block. Let's just get down the Exotic Orchard and we'll play the Horn Sliver. I intend on playing out all the cards in hand and then going for a Wheel of Fortune. It will give our opponent a load of cards and they have a lot of mana, but yeah, I don't really see that there's a whole lot else we can do here. And a Hornet Queen as well. This is quite the game so far. Hornet Queen is a Flying Death Toucher and comes down with a bunch of Flying Death Touchers. This time the beast deciding to swing in. We are not going to block. Alright, well there's a black source, so we will save the Verdant Catacombs. And let's go straight into our commander here. The First Sliver itself does Cascade. So it's just fingers crossed. We get into Nature's Law. So that coupled up with another land next turn means that we can recast our commander again if we need to. Let's go for another... we'll just get down a tap land here, just in case we need to start worrying about our life total. We can get a black source with the Verdant Catacombs. And then I think we have to swing in at Garrick really, because... yeah, we're probably going to lose our Sliver, but it does have Trample at least. We have to swing in at Garrick because it can do the overrun thing of +3/+3 and Trample. So let's go in at Garrick. They can just chump with an insect, but we'll kill off Garrick there, so we might get rid of a bunch of insects here. Or they could just block with the Woodland Bellower, and that gets rid of a big creature from them. Yep, that's what they're going for. So we get rid of a Death Touch insect and the Woodland Bellower. And therefore only get 1 point of damage through to Garrick. So the plan here is probably to just recast the First Sliver again next turn. But we've at least kept our opponent off of the Garrick limit break for now. And if they went off for it now, it would be 23 points of damage with Trample. So, yeah, it would get us really low. And we couldn't block very well either, so it is worth keeping Garrick down. Down comes the Silvos Rogue Elemental. 8/5 Trample with Regenerate. And then a Sword of Sinew and Steel. That blows up Planeswalkers and Artifacts. Yes, it's Planeswalkers and Artifacts. Pro Black and Red +2/+2. In this case, I think we need to just go for broke. Let's go for the Predatory Sliver and then a Wheel of Fortune. And then we need to hope to try and get into some evasive creatures. Yeah, so let's just tap like that for the Wheel of Fortune, and then it's... and then Wheel of Fortune, and we'll see if we can get into some spot removal. No, but we do get into a Vampiric Tutor. I was hoping for some really cheap slivers there. We could go for the Gemhide Sliver and cast some more stuff at least. This one is whenever it deals damage to a player, can draw a card. We can't get down the Gemhide Sliver unfortunately, so let's just hold up Vampiric Tutor. In fact, we're going to have to bounce that Garrick, aren't we? Yeah, that's something that we're going to have to go for now. Having to bounce the Garrick so that our opponent doesn't get lethal on us next turn with the overrun. Okay, a Tooth and Nail. Let's see if they're going for one card combo with Tooth and Nail. And they are not going for one card combo, so I can respect that. Soul of the Harvest takes them into card draw. And Verdant Sun's Avatar gets them into some life gain. So they are going to jump up to 26 life. Now I was actually wondering there if it would be worth going for the Double Strike Sliver and trying to go wide on our opponent, and at least forcing them to block with some of these Death Touchers. But I'm not sure what we're going to go for now. we're just going to have to take the hit here. Now let's grab ourselves a tutor with Vampiric Tutor at the upkeep, and we'll see what we can grab. I mean, we could go for Sliver Legion and just hope that our opponent has a difficult time blocking, but if they're clever, they could get us on the swing back, is the only problem. Let's go for Sliver Legion and just try and get an alpha swing on our opponent. We'll play out the Gem Hide first, just so that we get another +1/+1 buff from Sliver Legion. And this thing does have haste, thanks to Blur Sliver, so we can tap it for mana. And now let's see if our opponent can block well here. We are going to lose some slivers in the exchange, but because of the trample, the damage does go straight through these insects. So they do have to block here, but it's what they block with is the question. And they decide to scoop. Well, I think we should analyse whether they should scoop or not there. This guy is... yeah, there's some kind of roleplay going on there, but it's not a reference I understand. Right, so they could block 11, 12, 13, 14 points of damage. And I work that out as 44 points of damage, or 44 points of power coming through. So what did we say? It's 14 toughness. So that means that if they block with everything, we deal 30 points of damage, doesn't it? Yeah, I've just done that quickly in my head, so I might be miscalculating that, but I think we had the win there. Our opponent obviously worked it out much more quickly than we did. Either that or they just couldn't be bothered, thought they had the loss and just quit. But it might be that their arithmetic is much faster than mine is. Yeah, I think that's 14 points that they can block, thanks to their toughness. We had 44 points of power coming through, all with trample, and we would have ended up, therefore, dealing 30 points of damage. They had 26 life, and yeah, that was a victory, I think. Hopefully you all enjoyed the return of the First Sliver. Haven't played it in a little while. I'm tribalkai on the EDH channel. And don't forget, lore is love, or something.